Greetings, I am Sierra Hart, a fourth year social work student from the beautiful and known city of Natchitoches, Louisiana, by way of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And for my shadowing project, I decided to do Miss Crystal Flowers, the transfer student coordinator here at Florida A&M. Next slide, please. Ms. Flowers works for the Undergraduate Student Success Center, also known as the Undergraduate Office of Access and Opportunity, as the Transfer Student Coordinator. The job of the overall office is to aid freshman students in their matriculation throughout FAMU. Their main goals are retention, providing programs and services that allow students to grow professionally, socially, and academically. Next slide, please. The Office of Opportunity aids itself in creating the perfect experience for students while they are here at Florida A&M. They serve over 2,000 students. They have over 8 different sectors that aid students, from transfer students to first year experience students to summer bridge, summer admit students, to students who may not want to even come to FAMU, but they convince them to come through retention at other schools. So their job is to really ensure that students are successful while they are at our institution. Next slide, please. So who is Miss Crystal Flowers? Miss Crystal Flowers is a graduate of Florida A&M University. She graduated with her bachelor's in social work. She then decided to work for the Department of Children and Families for about 5 years, and from that job she became an administrator at the mental health clinic here in Tallahassee. And then from that job she decided that she wanted to work in the juvenile department, so she decided to work as a juvenile justice counselor, or a probation officer as she called it, and she helped students who were on their way to being released from prison. And so she worked with them to ensure that when they did leave the juvenile justice department of the prison, that they would be able to have the proper resources they needed once they got out, and they wouldn't be back on that same path. And working there is what allowed her to go on the education realm, which is where she works now here at Florida A&M. Next slide, please. So what exactly does she do? Miss Flowers aids herself in providing opportunities for her students that aren't just professional. So as a transfer student coordinator, she ensures that all her transfer students have the proper resources they need when they get here. So they come to her for advisement for their classes. No matter what major they are, they have to go through Miss Flowers. They come to her for their classes. They come to her for guidance, and she offers them a mentorship. That way, if they need someone outside of their professors, they are able to come to her to get advice on different aspects of campus. So she makes sure that she's very well-rounded in the things that are happening on campus, as well as that she can relate to the students, from our graduate seeking students to our undergraduate seeking students. She makes sure that they are able to actually be successful when they transfer to Florida A&M. A part of that is that she goes to TCC every week, and she goes to the Rattler Room. And in the Rattler Room, she advises TCC students on what classes they need to take to ensure that when they get to FAMU, we'll accept those credits. A lot of time, transfer students may come to FAMU and we don't accept some of their credits, which will then push their graduation back. But a part of Ms. Flowers' goal is to ensure that transfer students have the right amount of credits that FAMU will take, so that when they get here, they have a very smooth transition. Ms. Flowers also serves as the Transfer Student Association Advisor, which is a new organization here on campus for all transfer students to be able to join, to get to know one another, as well as to learn the different aspects of campus, because most transfer students, when they get here, they don't get the normal orientation that other students get. And so Ms. Flowers makes sure that it's her job to actually provide that experience for them through the organization Transfer Student Association, which has now become a bridge off of the Office of Undergraduate Student Success. Next slide, please. The advice that I learned from Ms. Flowers while I was able to shadow her for those 4 hours was extremely beneficial to not only me being wanting to be a social worker, but I feel as if it would be very beneficial to the class. First and foremost, she said that she recommends that everybody create a 5-year, 10-year, and 15-year plan. So create a plan that will help you get to your goals. She said when she graduated, she didn't have a plan. She just knew that she wanted to work in the social work field. She knew that she wanted to help people, and she knew that that's where her heart was. But she didn't set out a plan of, I want to be here, I want to do this, I want to do that. She kind of just went from job to job. And although those jobs were very lucrative and she learned a lot, and she had leadership positions at every job that she applied to upon graduating, it didn't give her the opportunity to really direct where she wanted to go. She was kind of just going. So she said that she recommends that we all create a 5-year, 10-year, and 15-year plan so that we know what we're doing. Secondly, as social work students, she recommends that we continuously remind ourselves of why we want to be social workers. She said as a social worker, she was extremely stressed when it came down to paperwork and the lives of children when she was a case manager, and a lot of times that stress load went home with her, and so she had to continuously remind herself of why she was doing that so that she could balance the stress. And that's why I call her the balancing act, because she's able to do so much, and she was able to do so much at such a young age because she's in her 30s. She was able to do so much and still be able to be successful in everything that she did. So as a social work student, she wants us to remember why we did the job and continue to keep that same motivation in every career aspect and in every class that we do have. She also wants us to take opportunities for our students to be able to know, what do you want to do? So if a job offers you an opportunity, it may not be the ideal job that you like, but she says a lot of jobs that she had taught her, okay, I want to be here next. For example, once she started working for the Juvenile Justice Department, she wanted to really understand how the education system played a role in the juveniles and why they got there, which is why she decided to do a master's in education. So this master's in education allowed for her to come to FAMU and be able to be a transfer student coordinator. Now, although there aren't any prerequisites for the job that she has now as an advisor and the transfer student coordinator, the only recommendation that they really wanted was for her to have a master's degree. And because she decided to accomplish that prior to, once she applied, she was a shoo-in for the position. And that way, she says, always line up your opportunities, because you never know which door will be the right door for you to open. Next slide, please. While shadowing her in the office, my observations of the work environment and Ms. Flowers herself, they were very different. In the beginning, it was extremely hectic. Students were coming in trying to get advised because advising windows had just opened, so they were trying to get advised. Students were coming in just to, get some advice from her. And it was great to see that she was able to be so professional, as well as be such a mentor to so many students. She has an assistant, so that assistant was there to help her from the morning until when she leaves at 5 o'clock. And to be able to see how much of an asset her assistant was to her and how much her assistant actually enjoyed her job, to me showed what kind of leader Miss Flowers was. Because normally, if you have an assistant, that assistant may be doing the job just simply for their paycheck, or they may not enjoy their job. But to see that an assistant was just so excited to assist, it was inspiring, especially because she was a sophomore. So to see a sophomore be so eager to work in very harsh conditions, like having so many students coming in and out and paperwork, and sometimes students came in with attitudes and Ms. Flowers has to meet deadlines. So being able to observe her and see how they work together was good, because I was able to see the kind of work environment that I may want to work in if I ever decided to be an assistant for a director in a different position. The undergraduate student success office also taught me that you can have many different departments under one building and still mesh. They're in the office of the Gore Complex, and in that office, you will not know that there were over 8 different sectors of people doing so many different jobs. And so being there, I was able to see how Miss Flowers has to work with this staff of 12 people to ensure that what she wanted was done, as well as to help them create their programs and things like that. So she says she continuously has to work with not only those in that office, but those in Lee Hall and in other administrative offices to ensure that transfer students and social work students get what they need, because she also serves as a social work advisor for different students. Interviewing Ms. Flowers ultimately taught me a lot about the social work field. Most of all, the number one thing that I took from this interview experience is that social work does not always have to lead you into the same path of case management, or working for children, or working in a foster home setting, but you can take a field in social work and use those same skills to create the career that you want for yourself. Although she doesn't have the title social worker right now, she worked in a social work field for 10 years, and now she said that she uses those same social work experiences to create a social work field in education. And so she says that she's a social worker of education because she provides resources to her students, she works with so many different professors to create opportunities for her students, and she uses those experiences to help herself as well as to help the students around her. And it was a pleasure and opportunity, and I'm so happy that I was able to actually do the assignment. I miss all of you guys, and I wish I was there in class, but I hope this video suffices. Thank you, Miss Williams. Thank you, everybody. See you guys when we get back.